Folks, I'm going to make this clear. I have mass amounts of messages. Ah, people. There we go. Sorry, everybody. Had to reset my Wi-Fi. I'm on Highway 20. It's closed. It's closed, and I'm in tumultuous winter roads. I have concession road I take, and it's open for local traffic only. So I'm dealing that with the little Chevy Aveo. Don't have my mighty Midnight Martha with me, which would be great, but I got my little Mexican Maria, and she's doing pretty good. So far, I don't know. Could get locked down either at the plant or right here. You never know. So that being said, I want to answer a lot of questions. I see the mass amount of messages. If people have missed the 1 a.m. post in response to China's new super embassy that was decided Eastern time, so this is New York time, and of course Toronto, Ontario time, at 1 o'clock in the morning. And Donald J. Trump put out a specific Truth Media post. It shows almost all of Turtle Island blacking out Mexico to the Panama Canal, but lighting up at Venezuela. And of course, Greenland and absolutely Canada are there. And folks are telling me, oh no, Dave, it's going to be Greenland, the 51st state. Canada maybe 52nd or 53rd. That's not what's happening here, and even what's being shown isn't really correct. Trump loves to do what he does. These are specific messages in response to the United Kingdom and Denmark and the European Union and the Commonwealth. It's all of them and the deal that they're trying to barter with China in UNSC penmanship. Media's asking me about it. Now that's Out West Media. I don't think I'm going to do it. And I wouldn't be able to do it live anyway. But I don't want to do it because I'm tired of being framed in a bad light here in Canada over just telling the truth. And this particular reporter I'm not familiar with. I'm going to ask another reporter with the same media as that company, and I trust her, so I'm going to ask her first, and we'll see if I get a news story, if I end up on the news. If I do, it's going to be a Zoom, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. They're going to probably request I go to Toronto, which isn't going to happen, not in this storm. But, folks, Greenland will never be more than the 6th territory of the United States of America. Its population is under 60,000. It does go in the statehood process like every other state of the Union. There are many territories that became states of the Union when their population surpassed the 60,000. You won't find any other history of Senate, Congress, or President of the United States, whether through purchase or any other negotiation, capitulation, military, or just normal annexation formed by those people. You won't find any example where a population under 60,000 become a U.S. state. Isn't going to happen. One, Senate representation. Go look at all 50 states of the Union. Go look at the senators. There's 100 senators. There's 50 states of the Union. Look at the population averages. Big or small, but they won't allow. It's unconstitutional. It won't happen. You will become a territory, a protectorate, through annexation, statehood. That's the mechanism. That's the process until Greenland gets its population well over the minimum requirement to get a senator, and it requires constitutional conventions. I don't know how long that will take for Greenland in its climate and everything else. Could be 70 years, could be 100 years. If you look at average of territories and populations growing to get there, it's about 75 years to achieve statehood in the history of the United States of America. Reality, history, constitutional truth. There's no other truth. Everything outside of that is fantasy and fiction from people who've never ever read statehood in its entire history of the United States, 1776 onward. And of course, the process changed in 1787 with the new and current We the People Constitution. Okay? Real federalism, sovereignty of the states that belongs to the people in their states, not the federal government. Okay? So that's that. Now, going on to Canada. Yes, Canada can become the 51st state. How it looks today with the way Canadians are, it is falling more and more into the Texas reality, where we're going to lose territory. And I can tell you that territory, 100%, is all the Crown land as Canadians know it, provincially and federally. You will be the great populist wall of China. I've said that. The worst epic case scenario is depending, and just so everybody knows, I'm on Wi-Fi, should be secured. But again, I'm in a storm and I'm on a closed road, so it's what it is. But Canada will not be as Donald J. Trump shows it right now. That is in the final solution. That is his ultimate goal, which starts with seizing the Crown lands on the way of annexation. Greenland will also be the annexation Canada. And it's in Donald J. Trump's hope the Canadians will finally capitulate, as Texas did. Remember, he shows you a map of all of America. He certainly doesn't break down the states of the Union in his map, which includes Venezuela, minus Panama, the tail of Turtle Island, all the way to Mexico. But he shows a final that I believe he believes in his administration. So that is Donald J. Trump saying, I will achieve this before the end of my presidency. That's what he released at 1 o'clock in the morning when the decision China made with UK to have the super embassy. When UK made the decision to sign penmanship with France itself and China against the United States and Russia, Trump immediately released that map. And when you look at the members on that map, which was produced in 2025, unrelated to 51st state, he put that map in, but he shows that meeting he has with all the European nations we're talking about, Canada, and who? Keir Starmer. He's ramped up tariffs, everybody, aimed at the destruction of Denmark's economy and United Kingdom's economy. They're responding with, well, shove it up your ass, Trump. We're going to amalgamate with China, and we're going to sell off our entire Commonwealth to Communist China. That's King Charles III and his Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Wouldn't matter who's the Prime Minister. Again, for all Canadians, especially if Americans don't know this, we don't have real political parties the way you do. These are illusions of political parties and democracies. It's a trick. It wouldn't matter in UK's situation, Labour, or in Canada's situation, our Labour Party, New Democrats. They're all one and the same crown, as are the Conservatives you know of, the Liberals you know of, same parties with slightly different titles exist in the UK because we mimic them. They have a Green Party, we get a Green Party. They have a radical separatist bloc party, we get one. Identical movement. Our Canadian Constitution, right off the hop, says this country will be modeled in the image and design of the United Kingdom, including our land availability. That if you crunch up all our private property into a ball, we're about the size of the state of Florida, 41 million people. in amount of property the size of Florida, with a population of Florida, 29 million. So we're much, much denser than the densest you get in the United States, as well as what we aspire to be 66 million people in the island of United Kingdom with no resources. They rely on colonial assets, especially the country of Canada, to give all that to them freely. America gets ripped off. UK, who has no meaningful trade relationship with Canada, gets it all for nothing, and they keep the First Peoples, defined as savages, under an Indian Act. They'll never let them go, because right now they're robbing them at a tremendous rate. And all Canadian subjects, you're being robbed as badly, maybe even more than the First Nations, because you work as their slave. You need that job, right? That's the sad truth and reality. If you look at the population of Canada, much larger than the United States, much more plentiful in resources by an expansive exponential rate, almost 120 to 1, 120 times more per Canadian to every American. There are 342 million people, we're 41 million. In a much larger country with a much more bountiful supply of resources from the Crown land, stolen from the natives, we don't settle them out. Not like America. Totally different political systems. The United States has never ran its over $30 trillion economy on its resources. It runs on the human resource, the power of the American citizen and American Indian citizen. Fact, not fiction. You'll find a big difference between the reserves of the United States, especially out west. Now, there is an issue out east in the United States, Confederation, Iroquois Confederacy, that's tied to the same Confederacy peoples of Canada and the same blight, even though those name treaties got somewhat better but didn't really come out good. Absolutely none of our Western First Nations in the numbered, came out good. But when you look at America out west, they came out terrifically well, have sovereignty, self-determination, and much, much self-government, matching all 50 states of the Union when they codified. You can look at those land settlements. Some states are upwards of 50% Indian reserve. Think about that. And these are, it's a doozy here. But anyways, folks, that's my video. This is the truth of it. I'll see if I'm going to do some kind of mobile interview, but I doubt it. They're probably going to want me to go to Toronto, and I don't think I'm going to do that. It's pretty tough winter conditions here where I'm at, and I'm probably just going to stay put, at least until some road openings happen. And I also got to see who this media personality is, and if I really want to do it, I'm going to talk to another friend to see if that, who is a media personality, has been fair to me in media, and I'll do that. I don't really feel like getting a hate on from a bunch of Canadians and being propagated across Canada at this particular moment in time, when I clearly see media lying to each and every one of you, lying to the people. Right here where I'm at, I'm catching up on messages. Just so everybody who's watching me, I know I took on a lot of followers, especially out east here, Ontarians in the community. So if I'm not your friend on Facebook, which I'm only allowed 5,000, people give me friend requests, Facebook wipes that out. I add people as they come up. I try to go in line order of people that's over a year old. But other than that, if we're not friends and I'm not following you, I don't get your messages. I have to actually go look and see what people are trying to message me, which I find hundreds I'm missing, which I find media there too. So I'm reaching out to people. I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you in the last month. I can see the line is long. I'm trying my best. And for Ontarians who reached out to me, especially in this community, I've been here a couple months now almost, and it's like, oh geez, I didn't realize so many followers are reaching out to me in the community. It was probably a good idea. I would have answered those if I knew you were there. So that's just how it goes. And try to look at those messages and add people as I go, open up the conversation. And I will catch up to all of you, especially those in the area. Probably do me great to reach out to Ontarians in the area I'm at, because it's pretty tumultuous winter indeed. But anyways, folks, that's my video. Not good for Canada where we're at. Not good for where we're going with China. Trump, as of 1 a.m. last night, pretty much told them all to get bent. He believes before the end of his term he's going to succeed in all these things, which means breaking Canada, breaking the UK, breaking Denmark, and breaking Greenland away from the socialism and fascism. The way I see that being done is much the same, at least for Canada, as what happened to Texas in history. And if you haven't watched my videos on that, if you haven't seen my posts about that, if you haven't seen my Houston reel, you should watch that. That's the reality of it. Look at the Republic of Texas for what it was, where it ended up, and how it got there. Trump is going to set that in motion before he leaves presidency, and it will never be a turn back. Not for Greenland, the territory, and Canada, the 51st state. He's not going to leave office until he's made sure that that is a no turnaround event. Whether that means Canadians suffer for 7 to 13 years, as Texans did, that remains to be seen. Remember, it was all done in that one term, but it took several presidency terms for Texas on their hands and knees, Texans begging for statehood after going bankrupt, governmentally and personally at the entire Texas people's level. That was 182 years ago. America knows what it's doing. Trump knows masterfully what he's doing, and Canada's not going to succeed. China's not going to get what they think they're going to get or are hoping to get. And how that's going to come to be is wait and see. From sanctions and embargoes, which are greatly being escalated against Canada, Denmark, and the United Kingdom, and European counterparts trying to stand up with UK and Denmark because they're evil too. Donald J. Trump feels very confident that he's going to beat their ass inside of the next 2 years. That's a fact. He posted immediately. So that tells me, as I kind of told in my earlier video, they know. Trump stayed up late to watch that. They knew. I knew it was coming, but obviously I'm not going to stay up to the wee hours of the morning, UK, China, or Russia time to see these things happen. I got to work, right? But it happened. Trump stayed up. He's a machine, near 80-year-old machine. It's impressive. But that's my video. It's important for everybody to share. God bless you all. Get it out there. Trump believes he can set this in motion, finalize it in the next 2 years. How that looks to me, as a Canadian, means tremendous amount of economic pain. The fall of USMCA, absolutely. And the path of what was the Texas Republic, the path that a great man, Houston, tried to save his Texans, who actually fought to build the Republic of Texas, and then they turned on him. They went crazy. They thought they could kick out all the Indians, kill the savages at will, and they were on their hands and knees. Please, 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 America, we're sorry. Please, please, please. And if you think that that won't be faster in this brutal Arctic climate, you're sadly mistaken. What Canadians think today in majority, I say within the next year, from November, they'll all be crying in their soup, on their hands and knees, beg, beg, beg. And then we'll see. So I'm going to determine if I'm going to do this media interview, and I'll update you all. God bless. Bye now. Share, get it out there.